of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Anyway, okay, so now the first item on the agenda is comments by mayor, and under this title, I'd like to read a resolution for retiring employee Rob Carmichael. Whereas Robert L. Carmichael has been a dedicated employee of the City of Lake Forest since June 11th, 1985. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael joined the City of Lake Forest as a full-time employee on August 31st, 1990. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael will honorably retire from the city on May 31st, 2023. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael served as a valued member of the Parks and Recreation team in the roles of program supervisor, athletics, coaching baseball, tackle and flag football, and other sport-related activities. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael served as the curator of the Wildlife Discovery Center, and whereas Robert L. Carmichael's passion and commitment to wildlife and conservation has enriched the lives of countless individuals in the Lake Forest community and beyond. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael dreamed the Wildlife Discovery Center into existence from just 2 snakes in one room at the Recreation Center in 1996 and turned it into an award-winning nature center beloved by the community, known for its exceptional care for animals and engaging wildlife programs. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael developed the Wildlife Discovery Center into a facility with unsurpassed interactive educational experiences and an impressive collection of unique animals that provided experiences that visitors will continue to cherish. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael, an educator at heart, developed engaging programs that instilled a love and respect for wildlife and conservation to generations of participants. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael created and ran some of the most popular events for Parks and Recreation Department, including Croctoberfest, Reptile Rampage, and special events, birthday parties, summer camps, school field trips. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael, a respected and accomplished curator and herpetologist, contributed to the scientific knowledge and advancement of the field. Whereas Robert L. Carmichael, as a qualified animal handler, conducted countless rescues and rehabilitation of animals, as well as providing residents with beneficial information about animal concerns. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael's tireless efforts to engage the entire community with impactful programs and exhibits that will leave a lasting legacy and benefit future generations to come. And whereas Robert L. Carmichael touched the hearts of countless many and provided wildlife experience that enriched the quality of life for the community and made memories that will be remembered for a lifetime. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lake Forest that the Council, on behalf of the administration and residents of the community, hereby expresses its appreciation and gratitude to Robert L. Carmichael for a public service faithfully performed, and be it further resolved that this resolution be appropriately inscribed and conveyed to Rob, with a copy to be included in the official minutes of the June 5th, 2023 meeting of the Lake Forest City Council. May I have a resolution to approve the motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Honorable Mayor and honorable council members and Mr. Wicca and everyone City Council. I'm Tony Carmichael. I'm Rob Carmichael's wife. I wanted to express my gratitude to you. You gave Rob the power of a dream, and we were able to become great community members of Lake Forest. We had a great alderman in Mr. Goshgarian. And I just wanted to express my gratitude to you for letting him have this dream, and for you guys to all support him the way that you did all of these years. So I just wanted to give you my gratitude to you. And also to his mother, who is here, Carol Carmichael is here, and also to Joe Mobile and Sally, and to Chuck Myers, who also allowed him to have this dream. And of course, you know, Mr. Wicca, without you, it would have been just like you said, a dream, and you guys made it a reality, and I just thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rob Carmichael, who's curator here at the Wildlife Discovery Center.
Rob Carmichael, curator of the Wildlife Discovery Center.
Back by popular demand, Rob Carmichael.
Say a few brief words. Thank you for the video. I was kind of reminiscing there. A lot of great years, and having grown up in Lake Forest, been here a long, long time. Started off with my mom and my late dad, really encouraging my passion for nature, and we had quite a home zoo that probably rivaled the Wildlife Discovery Center later on. And then that eventually, when I got married to my wife, Dr. Tony Carmichael, she was at my side the entire time and continued to kind of nurture things. And then I had my daughters, Carolina and Ophelia, and my grandkid. And it's just been an awesome journey. I can't thank the city of Lake Forest enough for this amazing experience. I've known Joe, seems like most of my life, when we play hooky and go fishing during our lunch hour. And I think it was our lunch hour, but and then Sally being there all along the way, and then Chuck being my last boss. So it's been just an awesome journey. I can't thank all of you enough, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter now. It doesn't end here. We'll continue doing wildlife conservation education in some way, shape, or form at our new home in Tennessee, and looking forward to what lies ahead. But again, thank you for the honor. I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing all of you when I come back a lot, because my mom still lives here. So I promised her I'd be up here as much as I can. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Want to open up to any comments? Do you want to open up to any council comments?
Again. Are there any comments?
Hey,
by
Rob,
city
before you
council?
go,
Hey, Rob, you want
Rob?
to just stick around or something? Yeah, I think we just wanted to just express some personal sentiments to you. So first off, just thank you so much for bringing so much joy and pleasure to our community around animals and education. And as a parent of 2 young children, 20 years ago or so, with long days and short years, you really made those days a lot shorter because it was always a destination to take our kids to. And I just really appreciate how you conducted yourself and just all the programming that you gave to the community and the individuals and the families. And so just a heartfelt thank you from, so from all the Preschlacks, thank you very, very much.
My honor.
Really
My
appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you, appreciate it.
if I could chime in too, I've known Rob for quite a few long years now. And again, growing up in town, had the great pleasure of knowing Tony and Ophelia and Carolina. They were on the gymnastics team with my daughter, Grace. I want to echo what Jim said. I mean, you have been such an asset to the community, not only as a city employee, but just as an individual that truly cares about Lake Forest, and you have enhanced the value and the quality of life for the community at large. And Tony, thank you for your kind words. When I took office 4 years ago, I made a deal with Rob. I promised him, I'll do whatever I can to help you, and you have to keep the alligator on your side of the road. I live right up the road, and you did. So genuinely, though, from the heart, thank you to all the Carmichaels for being just such a wonderful asset to the community. Godspeed.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Rob.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is comments by city manager.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor and members of City Council. Before I introduce tonight's guest for our community spotlight, I do have a couple of public service announcements for the few people in the audience and hopefully for those watching at home. First, as I believe we plugged at the last meeting as well, the city, along with the Parks Board, is engaged in a master planning process for Northcroft Park. I want to give kudos to several park board members as well as city staff for hosting a really well-attended pizza in the park event where the residents of the community were able to come and give their thoughts on what the future direction of the park should look like. With that event behind us, we are promoting an online survey for the community. It is available on the city's website. We've pushed it out in recent e-news communications and will continue to do so. But we encourage the community, all of those listening tonight or maybe in the next few days, to please take the survey. We want to hear from the community what they want to see in a future Northcroft Park. So please participate in that. Speaking of Northcroft Park, our summer concerts begin, I believe, the kickoff tomorrow night at Northcroft Park at 6:30, and throughout the rest of the summer, we will be hosting concert events most every week. A lot of them are right nearby here in Market Square. People are familiar with those, but I want to make sure that the public is aware of the dates. We'll continue to push those out as well, but they're always wonderful, well-attended, weather permitting, and we're looking forward to another exciting season. And then speaking of events, I wanted to give an initial plug for the Public Works Department's Meet the Fleet event, which is coming up, next Friday, June 16th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a wonderful opportunity for residents of all ages, from children to perhaps city aldermen, to come jump on trucks and honk horns and do all of that fun stuff. And I will say last year it really seemed evident. You could see the number of young new families in the community. If you ever want to get a visual sense of what that looks like, come to the Meet the Fleet event, because it was a remarkable turnout and again, fun for all ages. So hopefully we'll see members from the public attending that event next Friday. Next, for tonight's Community Spotlight, I'm pleased to introduce Jason Smith from the Lake Forest Preservation Foundation. Each year, the Preservation Foundation honors individuals and organizations who've demonstrated a commitment to excellence in the preservation of Lake Forest's architectural heritage, which, as we all know, is nationally renowned and has become an annual tradition for us. We're thrilled to have them here tonight to publicly recognize this year's winner. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Witcha, Mayor Tack, and all the aldermen for having us here. My name is Jason Smith, and I'm honored to be the presenter of this year's awards ceremony. This year marks the 32nd year of the Lake Forest Preservation Foundation has presented its annual presentation awards. The range and variety of properties honored since 1991 cover large and small homes and businesses, landscapes, and public spaces across Lake Forest. The goal of the awards are to showcase best works and the owners and architects that make it happen. The 8 awards presented this year represent 3 categories: rehabilitation, restoration, and preservation. The Lake Forest Preservation Foundation is excited to award the following properties as 2023 awards recipients, acknowledging the effort and work that is put into preserving these beautiful properties. We are thankful to both the project designers and the owners of these properties in their stewardship, reinvestment, love, and attention to detail that they have put into these projects to ensure that Lake Forest remains a special community. So let's get started. Rehabilitation. 1078 Oak Grove Lane. Owner Peach and Wayne Carr. E.V. Anderson bought the property in 1960, and at that time it was half house, half stable. The Andersons converted the stable into a family room, breakfast, utility, and powder room, also converting the tack room into a mother-in-law suite. New kitchen tear down of the shed that was attached to the garage and stable. As you can see, the result is beautiful and inviting long ranch home. 81 West Lauren Avenue. Rehabilitation Award. Owner Linda and Jim Estes. Project designer Michael E. Bressman Architects. The property originally was a part of the Atteridge Farm running south to Westminster and developed with the rest of that pioneer farm from 1906 to 1916 by architect Howard Van Dorn Shaw. The house was completed in 1909 as a summer home for the Chicago industrialist Hugh McBurney. Linda and Jim Estes purchased this home in 2016 and hired Michael Bressman Architects in 2018 to create a seamless addition of a 2-car garage onto the existing home. The addition includes a covered linked element between the existing structure and the new garage addition, and is nicely detailed to create a feeling of belonging to the original structure. Interestingly enough, on this house, there was actually a garage previously built directly adjacent to it that did not match the architecture, so it was a very good addition to this home. 1160 Griffith Road, Rehabilitation Award. Owner Kristen Anderson. Project designer Melikar Architects. Built in 1915, this 1-story bungalow is tucked onto this quaint street in Lake Forest. The homeowners wanted a master bedroom suite, first floor laundry with side entry, and rear yard retreat. They hired Melikar Architects in 2015 and 16. As you can see, the addition works seamlessly within the original design and adds nice elements of living space to the original home. 438 Heather Lane, Rehabilitation Award. Owners Heidi and Jim Clifton. Project designer Melikar Architects and Apple Landscaping. This home was built in 1965 as a mid-century modern ranch located on what is known as Heather Hill. Designed by Charles Page, the U-shaped layout makes it one of the more unique in the area. The owners added a very appropriate retro-styled garage door to its front facade and completed a full renovation of the rear landscaping, adding an exterior room-like feel to the rear of the property, creating an outdoor living space. Also did a lot of work on the interior of the home. It's a very nice addition to that area. Next category is restoration. 366 Bluff Edge, owner Julie and Dan Luger. The original brick wall from the McCormick Estate from 1926. The Lugers did a complete restoration project on the wall in 2016. The restoration and preservation of this wall was a complete success and creates a beautiful rear wall to the property, preserving all of the original doors and gates, keeping this beautiful historic significance of the neighborhood that the McCormick family originally established. This is a very beautiful yard, and the entire backyard is immaculate, actually. So, the highest award that the Preservation Foundation gives is for preservation, and so the following homes are preservation. 1628 West Old Mill Road. Owner is Jennifer McGregor. Project designer is Ken Height and Associates and Craig Bergman. Designed by David Adler in 1926 as a stable for the lavish 480-acre Albert Laster estate, this stable was converted into a residence in 1947. In 2021 and 2022, Ken Height and Associates and Craig Bergman Landscaping did a remarkable job in adding landscaping and design elements to the exterior of the home and maintaining the preservation quality of this property for many years to come, deserving of the highest award given by the Lake Forest Preservation Foundation. 1298 North Green Bay Road. Preservation. Owner Segon and Ned Kimball. The Cary Playhouse, situated on the Swanton Farm, is now a private residence within the North Green Bay Road Historic District. The house was designed in 1915 by Howard Van Dorn Shaw as a children's theater for Edward F. and Mabel Cary's daughters. The Playhouse was approximately 900 square feet and built with a similar style to Lake Forest Market Square. In 1917, after World War I, when housing was scarce, Howard Van Dorn Shaw was commissioned to convert the theater into a residence for the Cary daughters, Armenia. He designed a 2,725 square foot addition with dining, kitchen, butler's pantry, maid's quarters, and bedrooms. In 1985, the property had been neglected and was in disrepair. It was purchased by Segon and Ned Kimball, who preserved the historic character and craftsmanship of the building while rehabilitating and repairing the structure and mechanical systems. Thank you for your stewardship of this property. (1421) Lake Road, preservation. Owners Kristen and David Keenan. Known as the Bentley House, built in 1928 and designed by David Adler in the South African Dutch style with an addition by Ambrose Kramer in 1938. This well-maintained and beautiful house on the lake has been well cared for and respectfully restored over the years. Thoughtful conversion of interior servants' areas along with respectful renovation of exterior landscaping spaces have updated this home while keeping its unique charm and style of the original design. This home is well deserving of our highest award for preservation. Thank you very much for allowing us to do these things. They're very fun, seeing all the homes, and we look forward to next year. And I'm going to pass it on to Art Miller, who will talk very briefly about the Lake Forest Foundation.
Just a few comments. That last house that we saw, I met over the weekend with the people that have that house, and they described what it was like in 1985 when they went there to visit there. While they were standing in the living room looking at it and kind of discouraged about it, a cat flew through a broken window, saw them, and flew out another broken window. And that kind of told you how much work they had to do. And to think that they completely restored that house and brought it back is pretty amazing. So we've done that. These awards are some of the things that we do to see the success in Lake Forest and how people, the owners of private properties, work so hard to maintain these places. We've had a good year, our group, and we just wanted to mention there were a few things to highlight that happened this year. But one is we had our guidebook come out in the fall, and then a plaque project that we started at the beginning before the pandemic, but had all kinds of troubles through the pandemic. We've created 18 plaques on buildings, including this one. It was like a soap opera. The company went bankrupt in the middle. The plaques came out all squeegee-jawed, and one of our members fixed them, so they're all right now. But the main point is that they designate the kind of properties that in Lake Forest we want to see preserved in the central area. We're talking about the plans for the central area. And there was a conference here a couple of weeks ago, or well, it was almost a month ago now. The Traditional Building Association met here, about 130 people from around the country and area, some from abroad. But they were, so one of the speakers was Mark Nauer. Some of you know him. He lives on Sheridan. Great guy. Worked on that project. And he said how he tackled it was, first he hired a guy to tell him what he needed to save in that old building, that 1920s building. And so the guy made him a 100-page report. So then he took that 100-page report, and then he asked another guy, what do we have to do to make this work? What do we do to renew it so that it's good? He did another 100-page report, and he put it together in a 200-page report that became the program for the architects and everything like that. So the map we've passed around here that you've all gotten, it's kind of like our effort to show you the kinds of things that we want to see, that we think we all want to see get protected as we move forward. And not only just physically the buildings, but the sight lines to them as we plan for the downtown central district. And so this is done by Mark McMahon, local artist, who's done lots of kinds of things, projects like this. If you look on the back, tells you what all those little numbers mean if you don't know what the buildings are. Although Mark, being another Lake Forest resident since the beginning, he knew what those were and what the touchstones were that make you recognize them. You might not know the O'Neill building was actually the location of the Lantern, which many people are more familiar with than the name O'Neill building. But so this map, we hope, will be helpful to people, tourists and things, and to, as we think and we're planning, this is kind of like that first 100-page report that Mark Nauer got for the Deer Path Inn. And now we're working on, now that we have the report from the CBD on what the next steps are, and we plan to work and cooperate with you on all of that. So thank you very much for letting us hand that out to you. If anybody doesn't have one of the guidebooks, Architectural Lake Forest, see me afterwards. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Art, Jason, and Marcy, for all of your efforts. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report for this evening.
Very good, thank you. The next item on the agenda is opportunity for citizens to address the City Council. Is there anyone who would like to address the City Council at this time? Nobody here. Okay, there being none, the next item is committee reports. There are none this evening. Items for omnibus vote consideration. There are 7 items. I will read all of them at the end. If there is an item that an alderman would like to see removed or taken separately, please let me know. Number 1, approval of the May 15th, 2023 City Council meeting minutes. Number 2, approval of the check register for the period April 22nd through May 26th, 2023. Number 3, approval of the regularly scheduled meetings of the Lake Forest City Council for the year 2024. Number 4, consideration of awarding 2 one-year extensions of the city's contract with Thalen Materials LLC to provide compost transferring services for the sum of $109,000 per year. Number 5, consideration of a waiver of permit fees associated with the replacement of the cranes in the boat basin at Lake Forest Beach. Number 6, consideration of ordinances approving recommendations from the Building Review Board, first reading, and if desired by the City Council, final approval. Number 7, consideration of ordinances approving recommendations from the Zoning Board of Appeals, first reading, and if desired by the City Council, final approval. Are there any items that you would like to see removed or discussed separately? There being none, may I have a motion to approve the 7 omnibus items as presented?
So moved.
Second.
May we have a roll call vote?
Alderman Notes.
Aye.
Alderman Powers.
Aye.
Alderman Preschlack.
Aye.
Alderman Gashagarian.
Aye.
Alderman Weber.
Aye.
Alderman Walder.
Aye.
Alderman Novit.
Aye.
7 yea, 0 nay, motion carries.
Very good. The next item is a motion to adjourn into executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2 parentheses C. Okay. Is there any new business to be brought forward? There being none, I'll start where I left off. The City Council will be discussing collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees of their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. First, may I have a motion to adjourn into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Alderman Powers.
Aye.
Alderman Preschlack. Alderman Gashagarian.
Aye.
Alderman Weber.
Aye.
Alderman Walder.
Aye.
Alderman Novit.
Aye.
Alderman Notes.
Aye.
7 yea, 0 nay, motion carries.
There will be no further business following the executive session. We will now adjourn into executive session.